Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome here as we prepare for race number 23 of the season here, the second season of the NNSCRA Duracell Cup Series. 4 races remain until the regular season comes to a close, and we will finally know who the 16 drivers are that are going to battle in this season's chase for the championship. Now, before we get into this Watkins Glen race, I just want to point something out that some people might have caught on to a couple of weeks ago. I'm just going to address that right now. A lot of people may have realized that we ran the Kentucky race 2 weeks ago without having the movie night race that we were supposed to have. That was actually because the movie night race was swapped from Kentucky to the regular season finale at Auto Club for 2 reasons. Number 1, because Auto Club is closer to Hollywood. Hollywood movies makes kind of more sense there. Number 2, just personally for me, to give me more time to be able to get the cars painted, because at this point in time, I've only got, at the time of this recording, about 60% of the cars painted. I wanted to give myself a little bit of extra time because there's a lot of other stuff that's going on, not able to completely dedicate time to painting the race cars. So that way, everybody that did ask for a race car, for a movie race car, so that way they will be able to still have a race car. I wanted to be able to still keep recording races, but at the same time, also give myself a little bit of extra time to be able to paint said schemes. So the movie race is still going to be taking place. It just got moved about 5 weeks later than originally scheduled. Instead of Kentucky, it's going to be at Auto Club, race number 26. So now shifting gears, let's talk about today's race here at Watkins Glen. This, I believe, is our third road course of the season. I'm pretty certain. We had Sonoma at the first half of the regular season. We were at Pensacola Road Course back near the beginning of the second half of the regular season, and now we are here at the Glen. Usually a fuel strategy race, and it definitely will be today, because last year we didn't run the 2019 rules package. We actually ran Cup Physics, so they went a little bit further on fuel. Today, with the 2019 rules package that's based off CTS physics, we definitely will see pit road and pit road strategy come into play, and more than likely be the deciding factor into the outcome of who's going to take the checkered flag. So far this season, we have had 10 different drivers go to victory lane for the first time in their Duracell Cup Series careers, and we've had 19 drivers go to victory lane this season. We could end up having number 20 here today as William Brock lines up on the pole. So far this season, he has a goose egg in the win column. He's also 27th in points, so he needs a good run, whether it's a win or not. And he is a former winner at a road course. Last year, he took a checkered flag at Sonoma, so he knows how to get it done at the twists and turns of road course racing. Alongside of him on the front row is Wyatt Quayle in the 41. Wyatt comes into this race currently situated down in the 39th position in points. And if I can quickly do the calculations in my head, I believe he is 66 points behind the cut line of 30th in the standings. Time is running out. He has that win at Las Vegas earlier on this season. He's got to get into the top 30 in points if he's even going to have a ghost of a shot of getting into the playoffs, but the road's got to start now. I don't think, if he has another bad performance here today, I don't think Pocono, Richmond, or Auto Club can save him to get back into the top 30 in points. Chris Dollerton, defending champion of this series. He is 37th in the points coming into this race. He is about 54 points behind the cut line, and he still hasn't gone to victory lane, but he'll start off third, so we'll see how he does today. And alongside of him, Ryan Butcher in the 78. Butcher comes into this race currently situated in the 31st position in points. So with a win, he could definitely move his way into the top 30 in points. He is only 7 points behind the 30th in the standings cut line, so he still has a mathematical shot. We're just going to have to wait and see what happens there. And of course, he's another driver that has taken a checkered flag at a road course, winning last year at the Pensacola Road Course. Let's go down trackside, get those most famous words in motorsports, and get ready to go racing here at the Glen.
Drivers, start your engines!
So as the Dodge Challenger pace car is going to lead them off pit road here for this pace lap, you see half the field's on pit road. The other half is up on the front straightaway, a very interesting way that they have the grid here. And we will now show you on the right side of your screen your starting lineup, and let's give you your playoff standings coming into this race. Of course, with last week Ryan Acosta taking the checker flag at Martinsville in what was actually really exciting race, definitely has shuffled the playoff standings up quite a bit. You got Benjamin Miles still up there at the top with Carson Gum and Michael Norman. They are all tied for the number 1 seed. Miles is second in the overall points, Carson Gum 6th. Haven't heard a whole lot out of Carson Gum lately, which has surprised me. Michael Norman right now in 25th, so he's got to have a good run, get away from that cut line. He finished 3rd here a year ago, by the way, did Norman. Then you've got your one-time winners. Points leader Carter Friesen, Ryan Acosta now up there in the playoff grid with that win. Matt McIntyre, Jordan Lopez, Ryan Brommer, Zach Rogers, Dylan Young. Right now that'd be your top 10. Then Trey Wright, Cole Baker, Matt Haas, Johnny Gardner, Levi McIntyre, and right now your final spot is Alexander Rowe, who is back in the top 30 in points in the 29th position. He would be in the 16th and final seed. Drivers will have to keep an eye on today that have a win. They're outside the top 30 in points. We've already documented about Wyatt Quayle. You've also got Kyle Matthews. He fell out of the top 30 in points last week. He's 34th in the standings. He is 13 points behind the cut line and 14 points behind the cut line. 35th in the overall point standings is the defending winner of this race, Jose Mills, who is going to be starting mid-pack. I also noticed that Seth Cole's going to be starting mid-pack, I think just ahead of him. Both of them finished 1st and 2nd here 1 year ago. Best finisher that's starting up near the front would actually be Carter Friesen, rolling off in the 5th position. He finished 5th here 1 year ago. Matthew Rodriguez, rolling off from 7th, finished 6th here last year. And the pole sitter William Brock finished 7th here last year. So we do have some drivers that have some good numbers here at Watkins Glen, starting up near the front of the field. We'll see if they will be able to close out the deal and go to victory lane here today. Should also mention about lead changes. We'll see if there's going to be a lot of battling for the lead. Last year, there were 6 different leaders in the race, and William Brock was actually one of them. He led 3 laps in last year's event. There's some frame issues here, which I don't understand. Hopefully it'll settle itself out here. 27 laps of racing as the Cheez-It 355 at the Glen is green. Let's roll. Up over the rumble strip they go, 2 by 2, all the way back through the field, traversing their way through turn 1 safely. Now Chris Daugherty goes for the lead in the S's. Coming down to the treacherous part of the racetrack here. The chicane, the boot, the bus stop, doesn't matter what you call it. Daugherty on the right, Brock on the left. They make their way through the corner. Daugherty goes through the grass a little bit. William Brock was able to stay on the pavement. He'll stay at least to the outside of Daugherty. And now Daugherty will have him cleared out of the carousel. So Chris Daugherty will go to the race lead. Chris Daugherty last year when he won the championship only won 1 race. That was at a dirt track. He's never won at a road course here in Duracell Cup Series competition. William Brock battles back on the outside line though. He's going to take the lead back off the final turn. So it's not going to go down as a lead change because of Brock leading that lap, but we did actually have a lead change here on the first lap of this race. The record books won't show it though. Ooh, Brock might have gotten a little bit loose there on that rumble strip. Daugherty was able to get the hammer down quicker. He's back to the race lead again. Here comes Carter Friesen. Friesen, who picked up his first win of the season, 2nd of his career, a couple weeks ago at Bristol Dirt. Now looking for the 2nd position as they're battling further back there. Ryan Brommer, Cody Lamas, and I believe that was Ryan Butcher. They're all in a battle for 6th. As Friesen's going to clear for 2nd, it looks like. Now the battle's on for 3rd. Wyatt Quayle to the inside of William Brock as Chris Daugherty begins to open up some daylight between himself and the rest of the field. We were able to complete the first lap under green. Looks like we may be able to complete the 2nd lap under green. I don't remember if we had any cautions in last year's race. I'm pretty certain we did. No, we didn't. No, we ran last year's race completely clean and green as well. So we'll see if that trend continues here. And if that's the case, there's no doubt about it that pit strategy will come into play into the outcome of this race. Wyatt Quayle going to take the spot away from Carter Friesen. Looks like the rubber that's laying there on the rumble strip out of turn 1, it's kind of slick because it's the second time I've seen a driver lose a position because of that. I think Brock was the first one, and then Carter Friesen just lost some spots as we just had a lead change. Wyatt Quayle to the point. Last week with Ryan Acosta going to victory lane, that was the second Joanna Atwood Motorsports car to find victory lane this season. Quayle was the first at Las Vegas. Oh no, I'm sorry, third. Nope, that was my bad. The third driver this season out of that stable, because Johnny Gardner had the win at Dover. Dollerton now back in a battle for third place with Matthew Rodriguez, Ryan Brommer waiting to see which line opens up there. Matt Rod, another driver that with a win could move into the top 30 in the point standings. He's 33rd in the points coming into this one. I think I figured out what the frame rate issue was. I've got program open in the background and it probably ran an update or something. And now I got notifications coming up. Okay, this is weird. I don't know what's going on. We may actually take a quick break here so that way I can actually fix whatever the issue is. Wyatt Quayle, though, continues to lead here over Matthew Rodriguez. Carter Friesen there, and here comes Matt Rod looking for the lead in the bus stop and the boot and the chicane. And, ooh, he got into the grass. 2 tires into the grass here is going to cost him, and now Wyatt Quayle's going to go to the top position still. Friesen will move into second, and Matt Rod will have to settle back into third. We are going to take one quick commercial break. We will be right back. You won't miss a thing. Just want to make sure that we don't have any issues here with the recording, because we did have a little bit of an issue with the Martinsville race. Alright, we should be good to go now, I do believe, as the battle is on for the lead. You didn't miss anything, just a couple of corners. Carter Friesen going for the race lead on Wyatt Quayle, and he'll get the position. So Friesen now will go to the point. Definitely seeing a lot more passing for the lead here than we saw in the race last year. I believe most of the 6 lead changes that we had last year mostly came during the pit stops. But we're actually having good battling on track here, so I'm definitely pleased with the fact of that. And it makes me wish that last year we had actually used the 2019 rules package. Let's drop a little bit back further here. How about Jessica Shelton up there in that 6th position? Shelton, I think, started outside of the top 10, and right now running inside of the top 10, trying to catch up to the top 5. Shelton coming to this race in that cut line position of 30th in the standings. So no doubt if she could win here today, that would move her away from that danger zone and more than likely put her into a potential playoff position. Ryan Butcher riding behind her in 7th. Jordan Lopez. Lopez last week really struggled at Martinsville. And right now he's battling with Cody Lamas for the 8th spot. Lamas is going to take it. Cody Lamas coming into this race 16th in the overall standings. Now battling with Ryan Butcher. Oh, we had trouble with William Brock. The pole sitter got the wall, looks like through the S's. Did not wreck. We are still green, but that is going to be a lot of positions lost for the SunTrust Chevrolet, and he's also got right side damage, which is going to hinder him when he makes a green flag pit stop. They're going to have to spend a little bit of extra time on pit road, making sure they can clear the sheet metal away from the right side tires. Oh, and now he's going to get hooked! Got hooked off the nose. I think that was Charles Sanford. Sanford spins. Casey Nanico involved. This is going to blockade up the track, and this is going to be a big one. Oh, my goodness. Matt McIntyre is in it. Cole Baker, Mitchell Collins, Johnny Gardner, and a host of others. Caution is out for the first time here today in one of the worst places on the track you could possibly have a wreck. And Wyatt Quayle is going to lead us under our first yellow. Some other drivers I saw involved included last week's winner, Ryan Acosta. Man, I think, at least to my knowledge, that's the first time I've ever seen a wreck in that portion of the track that looked so much like the incidents we see that take place in NASCAR. I remember back when Gordon and Jeff Burton had a wreck over in that area. Another year, I believe, what was it, Michael McDowell ended up hitting the steel guardrail over in that area. That was very unusual for me. It was a first time for me. I've seen them wreck in that corner, but not nearly to the extent of blockading up the track like they did. Well, I think we're going to undoubtedly see everybody hit pit road here. They're probably going to take the opportunity to pit under caution rather than under green. Let's look back further, see who else was involved. I thought Trey Wright was involved. Yeah, he's on pit lane. There you see Gardner, Collins, Sanford. I just saw Marcus Sachi has already gone to the garage. Collins now out of the race. You see he just went to the garage area. Looks like Gardner is out of the race as well. Look back through here, see who might have gotten some damage out of that. One of them I know was Cole Baker. Michael Norman, two-time winner. A lot of damage on his machine. And remember, he came into this race 25th in points. So he's got to continue on no matter what. He's got to keep himself ahead of the cut line. New York native Benjamin Miles has got some damage. Two-time winner. See Cole Baker's got damage. Matt McIntyre crunched up on the front end. And that orange car we're focused on there is Ryan Acosta, last week's winner. He's got some damage now as well, and we of course know it all started with William Brock. I think it started with William Brock and Charles Sanford, if I'm not mistaken. Pit road is open. Do the leaders come to pit lane? No, they do not. I'm not really sure what to think about this. William Brock is in, but obviously because he's got damage. So the leaders will not hit pit road. They'll probably get the 1 to green signal this time. So let's quickly drop back and find out what brought out the caution for the first time here today at Watkins Glen. We're first going to start here, see what happened to William Brock initially in the S's. And there you can see, it looks like he got loose in the entry of that right-hander, got up into Carter Friesen, tried to get off of him, and at the same time overcorrects and into the steel guardrail. That's a pretty hard lick into the steel guardrail. And we saw how he lost so much momentum and so much speed, and all these other drivers, looks like it, with his momentum as opposed to their momentum, looked like it might have been Charles Sanford that he held up coming out of the carousel, and it's what led to the big wreck. So let's jump up to that spot now. Yeah, you can see the closing rate here as William Brock, I think, was probably going to come to pit road, so he was trying to let everybody by. He had Sanford, McIntyre, and Casey Nanico behind him, and then a gap where he probably could have slotted in to get to pit road safely. But you can see right there, I can't tell if he got the rumble strip and slid across the nose of Charles Sanford, or if Sanford got tight and got into William Brock. But whatever the case, Brock hits the wall, comes back, collects Charles Sanford. Watch the 77 go off to the right side of your screen. He's going to hit that steel guardrail, I think. Oh, no, he doesn't. No, he runs back into Charles Sanford instead. Purple car on the left side of your screen is Marcus Sachi. I think he's going to take the next hit here. And he's going to get the back of Sanford's car right there. Shoots right in front of Matt McIntyre and Cole Baker. Look at the hit there into the steel guardrail for the 21. Ryan Acosta nowhere to go. Johnny Gardner further back. You see gets into Sanford. There's Trey Wright. Austin LaPlante got a piece. There's Mitchell Collins off on the right side. Benjamin Miles back there, I think, ran into the back of his teammate LaPlante. We're going to take another camera angle of this, see if there were any other innocent victims collected up in it, but I'm counting at least 9, maybe 10 cars that got involved in this one, definitely, and there may have been some others. Looking at it from this angle, it looks like Sanford ran the corner wide and just got William Brock in the right rear. And there's nothing Brock could do. He was along for the ride after hitting the wall. How about Levi McIntyre right in the middle of all that and somehow made it through? He was the only one of the Sanford, Nanico, McIntyre trio that got through the wreck. And then Charles, when he hits that wall, shoots back right out into traffic. Nowhere for Marcus Sachi to go. And watch the hit he takes with Cole Baker right here. Oh, my goodness. Oh, Collins took a hard lick there as well, straight into the steel guardrail. And then watch further back here. Michael Norman, you can see he's way, way back. He sees the smoke, and he never really stops. He never really slows down. I think he's going to run into the back of either Carson Gum or Benny Watson. Right here, you can see he's trying to go to the right side, and he runs into the back of the 75. I mean, the track was completely blocked up. I don't know how Michael Norman thought he was going to never lift his way through that, but now he's got damage. And like I said, he's 25th in the points. Despite his 2 wins, if he drops out that side of the top 30 in the standings, he's not going to get a playoff spot. But a big wreck there coming out of the carousel puts us under the caution for the first time today. Let's go back for the green flag. One good thing about road courses is usually the lap after pit road is open, we go green the following lap, so not having to spend as much time under yellow. You see the lights are out atop the pace car. They went out halfway around the track. We will go green this time, but remember, nobody came to pit road under that yellow, at least up here in the lead lap cars, so that's interesting. That's very interesting. We'll have to see if they think they can make it on one stop, or if they feel that pitting then they would have to pit another 2 times. I don't really know what the fuel window is here at the Glen, but definitely with the CTS physics, you got to know that they're going to have to pit at least once in this race. Wyatt Quayle restarts the leader. Matthew Rodriguez second, Carter Friesen third, with Chris Dollerton, Jessica Shelton your top 5. 6th is going to be Cody Lamas, Ryan Butcher 7th, 8th Jordan Lopez 9th, Ryan Brommer, and completing the top 10 is Sebastian Kukulon. Out of the race are 5 drivers in total: Casey Nanico, Marcus Sachi, Charles Sanford, Mitchell Collins, and Johnny Gardner. Gardner came into this race 21st in the point standings, so this will definitely be a big hit for him. We'll have to see if he'll be down near the danger zone heading into next week's race. Green flag back out in the air with a total of 19 laps to go. Now we're going to have to bear in mind that these drivers ran about a lap and a half under caution, so they would have been able to save some. So I think what these drivers are targeting is lap 13. If they can make it to the completion of lap 13, they probably can make it the rest of the way on one pit stop. We did have a battle for the lead, but Matthew Rodriguez 2 tires off in the grass. That causes the tires to spin, and obviously spinning tires does not help you with grip, and no grip means no speed. That's why Wyatt Quayle was able to hang on to the top position. A couple of drivers that did have damage that did not come to pit road included Ryan Acosta, Benjamin Miles, and Benny Watson. Ryan continuing on there in the 10 car with that buckle on the hood. Doesn't seem to be affecting him, as he was 15th last time by. Let's see where he crosses this time. I think he lost a couple of spots on that lap. 15th and now back to 16th. There's Benjamin Miles. Little buckle on his hood as well. He's in the 18th spot. And there's Benny Watson. We saw Michael Norman run into the back of him. Right now he's in the 19th position. Michael Norman has continued on in the 18 car. He is 32nd right now, still on the lead lap, hoping that another wreck takes place or something so he can pick up more spots. Trey Wright off the pace was in that wreck. 33rd's where he's running. There's William Brock in 34th. As we had a lead change, Cody Lamas went to the top position, and his teammate Matthew Rodriguez moved into second. So right now, Michael Norman Motorsports teammates 1 and 2. Cody Lamas still looking for his first Duracell Cup Series win. We keep harping on it, but the closest he was back at Charlotte in the Coke 600. Half a lap away from winning, and Benjamin Miles passed him to pick up his first career Duracell Cup Series win. Matthew Rodriguez, on the other hand, looking for what would be his second career Duracell Cup Series victory, as he won last year during the playoffs at Arizona. But boy, he is getting hounded by Wyatt Quayle. I think Wyatt Quayle may have pushed him into turn 1. Carter Friesen hangs there in the 4th position. Chris Dollerton there in 5th. Those two know each other very well. The two of them were separated by 1 point in the championship standings after the checker flag waved at Homestead. Chris Dollerton won the championship. Friesen got runner-up. Man, Wyatt Quayle is not playing. He has been all over the back bumper of Matthew Rodriguez. Says we got a good battle back here going on for 6th. Jordan Lopez, Ryan Brommer, Jessica Shelton in this mix. Jesse Turner up here inside of the top 10. We talked about William Brock being a former road course winner. You see Ryan Butcher, we talked about him being a former road course winner. Well, Jesse Turner has a Duracell Cup Series win at a road course. He won at the Charlotte Roval last season. So no surprise to see him up towards the front of the field. And we mentioned about Levi McIntyre getting the lucky drivers of that wreck. And he's right now in the 12th position, reaping the rewards of that. Levi, our New Hampshire winner, right now 24th in the standings coming into this one. There's Seth Cole battling with Adam Garcia. Seth Cole, runner-up finisher in this event last season. He was driving a Toyota then, now in a Chevrolet. We actually have quite a number of New York natives that were in this race. Seth Cole is one of them. Benjamin Miles we talked about as well. And Johnny Gardner, very tough break for him as he's going to finish dead last here at his home track. I believe that's all of the, excuse me, I believe that's all the New York natives that are in the field. Right now, Cody Lamas, though, continuing to hold the top position, about a car length over his teammate Matthew Rodriguez. Wyatt Quayle slipped up in the carousel, so that allowed Carter Friesen to slot into the third position. And woo! Wyatt Quayle saw the rear end of the car almost come out from underneath him when he hit that one rumble strip. Battle for second brewing. Carter Friesen takes a look on Matthew Rodriguez. Nothing doing this time. Well, they are on lap 13. If they can come around and complete it, I think they can make it on one tank of fuel. Question is, when will that pit stop take place? And have we seen the last of cautions? I mean, that caution, that first one came out around lap 6, lap 7, which I kind of think, based off of the wreck that we saw with William Brock, it looked like the tire grip went away. That caused him to slide up into Carter Friesen. And then, of course, we had the wreck take place afterwards over here in the carousel. But we're seeing these drivers slipping and sliding around even now. So, obviously, grip is being very difficult to find for all of these drivers. Look at this. Ooh, contact. Friesen moves Matt Rod up the track. And, oh, looks like they're coming to pit road. Cody Lamas is coming in from the lead. Matt Rod is in, as well as Wyatt Quayle. Carter Friesen's going to roll the dice and stay out an extra lap, though. And this is very important right here, because this would mean, at this point in time, that Matthew Rodriguez, Cody Lamas, and others, they would potentially run out of fuel by the completion of lap 26. If Carter Friesen can make it around, he can make it as far as lap 28. Which means he would be able to make it to the conclusion of the race. The other ones would not. Jordan Lopez stayed out. Jessica Shelton also stayed out, along with Levi McIntyre, Sebastian Kukulon, Adam Garcia, Alexander Rowe, James Qualls, Benjamin Miles, Derek Hamill, Dylan Young, Zach Rogers, Vince Almriego, Matt Haas, Austin LaPlante, and Carson Gum all stayed out. So you gotta think those are the drivers right there that could potentially be the ones to watch to maybe win this race. Unless Cody Lamas, Matthew Rodriguez, and others that came to pit road a lap before, unless they can save some fuel here under this green flag run. Friesen's in. And it looks like everybody else is going to be coming into pit road. I don't think anyone's going to stay out. And more the fool me, Austin LaPlante and Carson Gum are going to stay out another lap. I don't think these two hit pit road. I know LaPlante got a little piece of the wreck, but I don't think either one of them came to pit road under the last caution, so they must have definitely been saving. We'll have to see if they can get back around. This will obviously gain them some very valuable track position, one would think. And I don't know if Carson Gum's pit stall is before or after the start-finish line, but whichever the case may be, it will all depend on whether he will get the bonus point for leading the lap or not on pit road. Keep an eye on your ticker as well, because you're going to want to see where the 84, the 57, the 37, the 41, where they're all going to be in relation to each other. Probably around third on down in just a moment. And Carson Gum stays out again. Okay, these guys had to have pitted then. Caution is out. Yellow flag waves, second time today, and this changes everything. Everyone's going to be good to go on fuel now, and the field will not be broken up. Everyone's going to catch back up. I think the two people that did not want to see that caution would have been Carson Gum and Austin LaPlante, because they're going to have to probably pit now, and they're going to lose all of this valuable track position. William Brock stayed out as well. He's going to be lined up in third. Trey Wright also there in fourth, and the lead would have cycled around to Cody Lamas over Carter Friesen and Matthew Rodriguez, but now they're all going to be bunched back up again. Looks like Wyatt Quayle would have cycled in 4th with Jesse Turner in 5th. Carson Gum has picked up the pace car. Let's see who was involved in the wreck. Oh, there's some damage on the front end of Matt Haas in the 8, so I'm assuming he was probably involved in whatever brought out this caution, because he did not have damage prior to this. All these drivers are just exiting out of turn 1. The leader's going through the carousel, so a lot of drivers have some catching up to do here. I think you're going to see the top 4 come to pit road here, which would mean I'm pretty certain everybody will be good to go on fuel now, because they were able to make it about 13 to 14 laps. And we'll be restarting, I believe, with 10 laps to go. So, we'll come back and find out if indeed Carson Gum, LaPlante, Brock, Wright, if they come to pit road. For now, let's go back and see what brought out the caution for the second time here today at the Glen. It was actually an incident on pit road that brings out the second caution of the day. Here you see Matt Haas. He had completed his service. So did Dylan Young. They're going to come out here with Zach Rogers leaving his pit stall 3 wide coming off pit lane. That's not going to work. Usually you have to try at least to be single file. Double file is iffy. 3 wide is an absolute not going to happen. And watch when they come here to that yellow line. That's the commitment line for pit road speed. All 3 of them are going to mash the throttle, and you can see Dylan Young is very close to that right rear quarter panel of Matt Haas, going to hook him around into the wall. Dylan Young's going to get some damage out of that as well. And because there was oncoming traffic with Vince Almriego, Benjamin Miles coming out of the pit road exit, the lights came on atop the pace car, and they had to throw the yellow. So that is what brings out the caution for the second time here today. Completely takes away the whole pit road strategy, pit strategy, fuel strategy agenda, and sets us up for what could be a very wild final 10 laps here at Watkins Glen. Well, the only thing I could think of is Carson Gum feels that we will have another yellow flag, because he did not pit. Austin LaPlante, William Brock, Trey Wright, they did pit from 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Carson Gum, 2-time winner, I guess, trying to risk it here. He doesn't have a whole lot to lose. I mean, he's got himself a good cushion back to 30th in the points, about 120 points back to 30th place from where he's positioned. So the likelihood that he's going to make the playoffs almost a confirmation now. So I guess he's just risking it, trying to see if he can pick up a 3rd win of the season. He'll restart ahead of Cody Lamas, though, who was the driver that would have cycled around to the race lead when the pit stops had completely cycled. 3rd place will be Carter Friesen, Matthew Rodriguez in 4th, and 5th place is going to be Wyatt Quayle. Jesse Turner 6th, 7th is Jordan Lopez, Jessica Shelton back in 8th. 9th place looks like will be Chris Dollerton, and Adam Garcia will complete the top 10. Then it's Levi McIntyre, Ryan Brommer, Sebastian Kukulon. Believe that's Seth Cole and Kyle Matthews completing the top 15, with James Qualls, Ryan Butcher, Keith Batson, Jack Mitchell, and Derek Hamill, your top 20. Couldn't show it to you on the grid because of the fact of with drivers pitting and whatnot, some crossed the line ahead of others, so the ticker is not completely updated. We had another driver out of the race that I did not document at the first time, and that is Cole Baker, and Carson Gum's going to come to pit road this time. So I don't understand this, unless he thinks these drivers can't make it the rest of the way on fuel, but I'm pretty certain they can. It'll be 10 laps to go. Cody Lamas will be coming down and receiving the green flag to get us back underway. I don't know if Carson Gum just stayed out to get the bonus points or what, but he's obviously not going to be finishing well now because of having to pit coming to the green, especially if this thing goes green to the end. Saw some really aggressive racing early on. You ain't seen nothing yet. We're going to see even more here because these drivers realize there's 10 laps to go. It's go time. We nearly had a wreck right there with Shelton, Turner, and Quayle, and they'll still be 3 wide heading down towards the carousel. Battle for the lead ahead of them. Carter Friesen looking for the spot on Cody Lamas. He's going to go through the grass, and Lamas will swing back around the outside and keep the top position. Jesse Turner got a good turn there as well. He's going to try and close in on 3rd place. Shelton now slots to fourth. She's going to get around Wyatt Quayle. Here comes Friesen. Looking again on Cody Lamas. Did I see the caution out? Nope, we're still green. And Friesen takes the race lead away. Got Jordan Lopez back there, driving it down to the inside, trying to take a position away down here in turn one. Here comes Lamas, back for the race lead. He'll stick Friesen up on that slick rumble strip. Friesen can't get back to the throttle. Lamas back to the point. Great battling up here at the front as now Matthew Rodriguez sets his sight on second place. Jesse Turner, Jessica Shelton in the mix as well. Out of your top five, 4 of them have not been to victory lane this season. Friesen's the only one who has, as now Matthew Rodriguez under fire from Jesse Turner for third. Lamas and Friesen both went through the grass there out of the carousel. Shelton around the outside of Turner for fourth. Wyatt Quayle starting to close in as well. Chris Dallerton there in 6th and 7th. Adam Garcia back there making a move on Jordan Lopez as Friesen again tries to take the position away from Cody Lamas. Lamas wide in that corner. Friesen's going to clear and take the spot back again. Lamas now back down to the inside. Matthew Rodriguez right there as well. Will he try and make it 3 wide down here into 1? That's not advised. Look at Shelton now going for third. Oh, that's tight off that corner. My goodness. Side by side, 2 rows deep. Lamas back to the point. Shelton will move to second place now, the highest she's run all day. And now sets her sights on Cody Lamas. Lamas better not look out his rearview mirror because there's a big face of Boxy in that rearview mirror. And now here comes Shelton for the top spot. Through the carousel, Shelton gonna have to try and make sure she doesn't hit the grass. She does though. Lamas gonna swing around for the lead still, but Shelton is still there. Friesen about a half groove lower out of the exit of the carousel. Here comes Shelton. She's gonna look low, heading into the left-hander. Lamas gonna try and not swing wide through this corner. He has the last couple of laps, and he does. Friesen moves to second. Well, he's now battling for second as Shelton will move to the race lead. Oh, car in the wall back there. 2 cars in the wall. Levi McIntyre, Kyle Matthews. They keep it straight, keep it going. We're still green. Now Lamas all over the back bumper of Shelton. Whoa! Shelton and Lamas both ran that corner wide. Here comes Wyatt Quayle for third on Carter Friesen. Matthew Rodriguez, Jesse Turner, Chris Dallerton all battling for 5th place further back. Keith Batson has cracked the top 10. Quayle and Friesen gonna take this battle into the bus stop. Friesen's gonna have the advantage being on the left side, and he will swing around and hold the 3rd spot. Meanwhile, Lamas all over the back bumper of Shelton. Will he make a move down this straightaway? He's there, but will he step out of line? Nope, not yet. Cody Lamas has been the strongest over in turn 1, so that might be where he's waiting to make his move. Big gap from Adam Garcia in the 9th position back to Keith Batson in 10th. I think a big reason for that is the Levi McIntyre, Kyle Matthews incident we saw in the last lap. Meanwhile, Lamas not able to quite get to the back bumper of Shelton, or at least not get a run. Now he steps out of line heading into the S's. Who slipped up a little there, but so did Shelton. 2 of them still side by side, and this is going to allow Carter Friesen in 3rd to close in on the both of them. Don't know if Cody's going to be able to get there. Nope, Shelton got him cleared before they got to the carousel. I don't know if Cody may have lifted or if Shelton just got the better entry into the bus stop, but she'll hold the spot. Lamas 2nd, Friesen right there in 3rd. And don't count out Wyatt Quayle. He's been up in the top 10 all day, and he's in that 4th spot. There's battling going on here, and then there's a great battle going on for 9th place. Actually, that's for 10th, rather. Keith Batson trying to hold off Ryan Brommer, Levi McIntyre, Sebastian Kukulon, and last year's winner, Jose Mills. Right now up inside of the top 15. Here comes Jesse Turner taking a look on Wyatt Quayle. That's for 4th. Matthew Rodriguez going to drive it in there as well as he completely ran Wyatt Quayle up the track. Turner not only goes for 4th, he'll take 3rd away from Carter Friesen. Remember, Jesse Turner has a road course win at Charlotte Roval last year. Kind of a controversial win when he bumped Dylan Poteet out of the way in the bus stop, but a win is still a win. And Turner is still looking for his first win of the season, as is Shelton, as is Cody Lamas. Shelton hasn't won since Phoenix of last year. Lamas has never won, and Turner has not won since the Roval of last year. This next time by, we will be at 4 laps to go. Time is running out, and I don't know if Cody's just waiting or if he does not have a strong enough car to get around Jessica Shelton. But right now it is Chevy, Toyota, Ford at the front of the field. 4 laps to go here at the Glen. Shelton really pulled away that time on the front straightaway. I think Cody may have used up his stuff because now he's under fire from Jesse Turner, and quickly that battle comes to an end. Turner will move to 2nd. Ooh, contact between Carter Friesen and Cody Lamas. Friesen had to lift, and that's going to lose him some momentum through the S's. Fortunately for him, he did not go up and slap the wall like we saw happen with William Brock earlier on in this race. Look at Turner. Man, he closed up the gap between himself and Shelton really well before the carousel. And now he is on the attack. He's going to move to the inside on Shelton. Shelton trying to block him. Trying to not give him a lane. Now crosses over, does Turner. He'll go to the inside into the left-hander and easily makes the pass for the lead. And now Cody Lamas going to try and take 2nd place from Shelton as Turner begins to open up a little bit of daylight for the top position. Now Lamas trying to get the spot from Shelton down here in turn 1. He'll easily make the pass. Friesen's going to be able to use that inside line as well. He'll slot to 3rd. Now Wyatt Quayle looking for 4th place. Oh man, when they go into the corner there in the S's now, it makes me so nervous because we see them slipping and sliding with these tires worn down. Remember, these drivers are good to go on fuel. I'm pretty certain, so I don't think that fuel will be a concern. It's all going to come down to who has the strongest car, and right now Jesse Turner moved his way from 5th all the way up to the race lead, but he's got Cody Lamas closing in, so maybe Cody wasn't using up his stuff. Maybe he was saving. Tell you what, Shelton's lost a lot of spots. She's now all the way back in a battle for 7th with Chris Dollerton. And that's after she was the leader 2 laps ago. Speaking of 2 laps, it's now 2 laps to go for the race leader, Jesse Turner. Someone's on pit road. Was that Shelton? I think Shelton just hit pit lane. So maybe fuel is a concern. Hold on. Yeah, Shelton's on pit road. I think something's wrong on that car, actually. I don't think it's fuel. Because she dropped like a rock there on that last lap. I think something might be amiss under the hood of that machine. Tough break for Jessica Shelton, who came into this race in that 30th position and cut line area. Look at this. We may have a battle for the lead. Lamas is all over the back bumper of Turner. And a guy that's saying, yes, yes, race it up there. That is Carter Friesen there in 3rd place, because that could bring him into this battle. Looks like right now it's going to come down between the top 3. Turner, Lamas, and Friesen. Wyatt Quayle about 0.8 of a second back. Friesen steps out of line. That's for 2nd. Can't make the move. This time by, we will see the white flag. 1 lap to go at the Glen. Turner, Lamas, Friesen. Who's going to be the first one to the checkers? Boy, Lamas really lost ground again there off the final corner. Carter Friesen, I think, just bumped him into turn 1. Slow car in the way. That's Trey Wright, who just made a pit stop. Will he be a factor in the outcome of this race? Friesen trying to take 2nd from Cody. They've got to settle that battle quickly if one of them's going to focus on the 47. Oh, this might not be good for Jesse Turner. This could put him in a bad situation heading into the carousel, but he is going to clear the 28. Friesen's going to clear the 28. Friesen's now in second place. It's now going to be Turner and Friesen that are going to settle this thing out, it looks like. Can Carter Friesen get a good enough run here exiting the carousel, heading down to the left-hander? Cody Lama stuck behind Trey Wright will not be a factor. Friesen looking for his second win of the season. He's going to look low on Jesse Turner, but he can't make the move. Turner's going to block him. Friesen's got one more shot right here in the final right-hander. Jesse Turner off the corner. Gets back to the throttle sooner. Jesse Turner's going to get his first win of the season. Wins the Cheez-It 355 at the Glen. Jesse Turner will pick up his third career Duracell Cup Series victory and first of the season. What was it, last week or the week before I mentioned that it seemed like Jesse Turner, we really did not talk about him hardly at all this year, was always under the radar, never really up at the front. And he picked a perfect time to get to the front. He'll take the checkered flag. He comes into this race 20th in the overall standings. That right there may have put him in position for a playoff spot in the Duracell Cup Series Season 2. And he had to hold off one of the strongest cars of the day, Carter Friesen, to be able to do it. No doubt about it, this was an exciting Watkins Glen race. We had a lot of passes for the lead, and it just makes me sorry that I didn't do this last season. So Jesse Turner, the Lake Effect Autosport single team entry, will take the checkered flag. That's his second career road course victory as well. 2 of his 3 wins have taken place now on road courses. Friesen will finish in second. So Carter Friesen, the points leader coming in, will still be the points leader leaving. Right now, I'm telling you what, Carter Friesen's looking like one of the favorites in the playoffs with the consistent runs he's had after getting that win at Bristol Dirt. And even then, in that Bristol Dirt race, he went into that race 4th in the points. So he's been very consistent this year. Cody Lamas finishes another great performance. 3rd place here today, and that will continue to help him in the rookie point stands as well. He comes into this one 7 points ahead of Sebastian Kukulon and Derek Hamill for the rookie points, and he is definitely going to continue to grow that. Wyatt Quayle will finish in 4th. Is it too little too late for him to get into the top 30 in the standings? I don't know. But this is definitely a step in the right direction. A great solid top 5 run for him. Matthew Rodriguez brings it home in the 5th position. So this will probably move him back in the top 30 points as well. Chris Dollerton, he's trying. He's still got to get a win, though. But he's trying to get himself back in the top 30 in points so he can defend his title. Adam Garcia, great run for him there in 7th. There's a lot of drivers that really needed good runs outside the top 30 in points that got them today. You've got Wyatt Quayle, Matthew Rodriguez, Chris Dollerton, and Adam Garcia. They all came into this race outside the top 30 in points. Ryan Brommer finishes behind Jordan Lopez. They were 8th and 9th, and Keith Batson is going to finish the day out inside of the top 10. Sebastian Kukulon in 11th. Seth Cole brings it home in 12th. Jose Mills, the defending winner no more, is 13th. Levi McIntyre will finish in 14th with James Qualls in the 15th position. So Levi was able to hang on for a 14th after hitting the wall. Kyle Matthews we saw also hit the wall. He finished back in the 18th position. Jose Mills, we mentioned, comes into this race 14 points behind the cut line. Now, with Jessica Shelton having the issue she did on the last lap, that's going to allow Jose Mills to gain some positions on her. Casey Nanico finished out of the race, and Ryan Butcher didn't finish all that well. He finished in 21st. So Mills may at least close up close to the 30th position in the standings, but of course we're just going to have to wait and see if that'll be the case. Ryan Acosta, who won last week, had that hood damage. Somehow was able to finish in the 19th spot, so a nice run for him there. Driver that I'd be very worried about at this point in time is Michael Norman, finishing in 30th, and he came into this race 30 points ahead of the cut line, 25th in the standings. So don't know where this is going to position him. I know he finished around the same area as Charles Sanford and William Brock, who were around him in the points, so he might still have a little bit of a cushion, but certainly did not need that poor performance. Carson Gum, not sure what the strategy was for the 3-car, but he gave up the lead to finish 31st. We saw Shelton have to pit from inside the top 10, 32nd for her. Austin LaPlante finished back in 33rd, although he had gotten involved in our first caution. Trey Wright, we saw kind of, well, it kind of played a bit of a factor into the finish, but he didn't hold up Jesse Turner. Turner was going to probably win that race regardless. So Trey Wright finished a lap down, and then out of the race were drivers that were collected up in that big wreck that brought out the first caution. Cole Baker, Casey Nanico, Mark Gazzacchi, Charles Sanford, Mitchell Collins, and Johnny Gardner. Like I stated earlier, we'll have to see where this DNF positions Johnny Gardner in the current overall point standings. But Jesse Turner going to victory lane means that now we have had a total of 20 different drivers go to victory lane here this season. And there's only 16 spots available in the playoffs. So, are we going to end up seeing 3 more drivers go to victory lane in the next 3 races? Only time's going to tell. Next week, we pack it up and we head to the tricky Triangle of Pocono, another fuel strategy race. Remember last season, Carson Gum picked up his first career win on a fuel strategy call. Then we go to Richmond for some short track racing. And then we pack it all up and we head to the regular season finale at Auto Club Speedway, which, as I stated, is going to be our movie race since we didn't do it at Kentucky. But thank you all for tuning into this race here from Watkins Glen. If you enjoyed it, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe, become part of the crew today. We have shown you full finger results, and these are your point standings heading into next week at Pocono. 20 different race winners in 23 races, and only 3 races remain until the playoff grid will be set. Until then, I've been Seth Cole. You've been watching a production of the NNSCRA Offline Racing at its best. So long from the Glen.